Ritchie. My real name is Robert Francis Ritchie IV. I have the privilege of working here at Liberty University in the capacity as an assistant professor of history. My story really began when my mother immigrated to America. And when I asked her why America, years later, why is it we grew up in America and why did we come here? She told me because Americans are a people who put everything they have on covered wagons. And they're not afraid. They're courageous people. They're not afraid to put it all out there to take a chance. And that's the kind of people we are. Growing up, I was not a very good student. For whatever reason, I had numerous learning disabilities that I still have to contend with. And one of the things I think has been a real blessing in my life is that very fact, that school was a place where I went to feel bad. Every day, I recall feeling like tears were in my eyes at the end of another day. To me, it was a place for 12 years where people told me I could not succeed. I don't know what the nature of my learning disability is. Back then, we didn't diagnose people, much less give them medication, which I'm grateful for. But the number 38, for example, in my short-term memory quickly becomes 83. So when I was 17, they were glad to send me off to Vietnam in high school because I was such a poor student. But when I was later on my second run as an NCO in the Marine Corps, when they gave me an opportunity to go to college, I took it. And I graduated from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I was commissioned and I became a tank officer. I was beginning to have issues with what I saw in the military. I had the privilege of working in the development of maneuver warfare, a strategic concept that would come to fruition with something known as the strategic air-land battle. But when I was sitting in my tank, I remember seeing how some tanks could hit anything that moved at 4,000 meters and others couldn't. And there was the same $12 million Chrysler system in that turret. And I began to see that the real battle in the next war would be for the minds of the people. And as the Soviet Union was declining, the tankers we would prepare to contend against in their T-72, T-80 model tanks had no brakes. Why didn't they have brakes? Because the soldiers were drinking the brake fluid so they could get drunk. Now, that may sound insane because it is. They would go blind and insane and die from doing it, but they would still do it. The more I thought about this, the more I thought I had a calling to go into education. I found increasingly that if I stood in front of a group, they would actually listen. Maybe it's because they had to, I don't know. And so, following that thinking, deciding I wanted to be in academics, I began to set a goal for myself to be a professor at Liberty University. And I broke my neck for 3 years with this dream of being a professor at Liberty. Imagine my delight when I sold my home and we left everything we had like the people on covered wagons did. And I came to Lynchburg, Virginia, and they informed me that my degree was worthless, that it was not an accredited degree, and that I couldn't be a professor here. And I didn't understand why God would do that to me. I just didn't understand. I mean, how could you give me this dream and this vision and allow me to do this on faith? And it failed. By the year 2000, I was at E5 for my 4th time in my military career. At one time, I'd worn major oak leaves, and now I'm back to wearing 3 stripes. And this is with my master's degree that everybody's telling me is no good. What happens is my graduate degree, which I had been told was no good, was retroactively accredited, which opened the door to come up to Liberty University. You've seen my life. You've seen it's been really a series of mistakes and failures. Nobody else I know of has a good conduct medal that they've had to fight so hard to keep and have had it given to them by so many different branches of the military. And yet I don't know very many people who could look at you today and say that they have been blessed with fulfillment that really they can't even explain. I think that love that transcends all the powers is a blessing, and that the struggles and failures of my life have really, because of Liberty University's willingness to take a chance on some guy who had a cheap college degree, who maybe didn't have the right background, who maybe wasn't a 28-year-old PhD. I believe that same spirit of packing that wagon train is manifested